Hello everyone, Shadefire here, and welcome back to Let's Play Cold Fear. This is Episode 6. So last time, we explored the oil rig a little bit, found an MP5, then we went and found Anashenko, killed him, took his eye, and used it to get into the jammer room and shoot up the jammer. So now we're back in contact with our CIA jackass, and we also saw Anna get carried back aboard the oil rig by one of the Exocells, one who could talk, and clearly seemed to know her. I wonder who that could be. So, we saw her get infected by Exocells, and now we gotta find her and administer the cure before she gets actually infected. Just like we got. Alright. Hey, hold on. So that's where we came from, which means we need to go this way.
Great, it's locked.
But it's locked. What the fuck? I guess we gotta go up. Because I tried that door before I started recording, and I'm like, oh, that's not the way to go.
Great, it's locked.
Okay. So yeah, it's not that there's actually anything there, it's just the door we come out of switches depending on what floor we're on. Though it's a weird way to phrase it. Alright. We gotta watch out for the waves here because we are actually low enough to get hit by them. But you can see them coming from kind of where the caps are. I don't know what room she was in. I think she's in the med bay. A lot of squishing coming from here. Nope. You know what we haven't seen for a while? Remember how there was a nest on the ship, but only like one? That's the only one of those we've seen in the whole game so far. Man, the pop-in in this, I wonder if that, I think that's a widescreen hack problem. Is because, you know, when stuff is near the edge of the screen, it despawns, because normally you wouldn't be able to see that. But yeah, I think this sound means there's another nest here. Fire works pretty well on non-hosted exocells. Okay, it was still fading out. I thought it wasn't dead. Juice for the flamethrower. So yeah, what do we do about this? This, like, intestine floor. I would say I don't think we can do anything, but we can't climb back up, so we have to go this way. Alright, I guess we were supposed to fall down here. Are you seriously gonna get infected again? You goddamn idiot. Now we both need the cure. Also, this place is horrible. I guess we could have electrocuted him. Yeah, I don't even want to deal with all the stuff down here. There's just entirely too much meat to deal with. And who are you supposed to be? why are you so large? Large and in charge. Alright, well, bye. This is a very steep slope for him to be doing his little tippy-toe run up. So clearly, the exocells terraform their environment as well. Which, does that mean that there's just a cave underneath the ocean that is just full of meat like this? Isn't that pretty much just the game hidden deep? Except there, I'm pretty sure those are man-made mutants. Page signed with a bloody handprint. Scientific module. That would explain why it's so horrible here, because this is where all the research was going on. Kind of weird how this flamethrower works. Because it doesn't affect them initially. Maybe they just have iframes when they spawn. I love how I keep snap firing the grenade launcher thinking it's a pistol. Oh, those things take so long to despawn. Okay, so...
Great, it's locked.
That needs a key. What's this? Showers. That's always gonna have corpses in it. God damn it. With how quickly they can drain your health, it's definitely a problem when one dies at your feet. And, you know, just rolls out. And now we're all the way back here.
Great, it's locked.
Because there was no save points after that infection. That's fine. We can rush our way back there. I mean, it seems like we don't really need to bother with the nests, considering if you leave, they're no longer a problem. All they do is occasionally spit out more exos. Actually try this door.
The damn thing's stuck.
Well, it's stuck anyway, so this really is the only way to go. Down the meat shaft. Initially, it really does just look like an instant death animation. Like, whoop, you fell in a hole. Hey, I did exactly that same thing again, where I scrolled to the grenade launcher. That still counts as burning the body. Alright, and now we're back. Running a little low on ammo. Alright, that's dealt with. So, I think if I go through this door, it should ask me to save? No? No save point yet? This is another elevator. Underwater tunnel.
Great, it's locked.
Okay, we're not going there yet. Where the hell are we gonna go with this underwater tunnel? I'm like trying to guess where the save point is going to be before I explore too much. Just to avoid death-related backtracking. We gotta get back to the med bay. Which, if I remember correctly, there was that bridge that was extendable from the scientific module to where we started, and that will lead us back to the med bay. So I think if we can find that, we'll be alright. The machine gun clip. Weird that that one is like the only ammo that has an exclamation mark. Ah, shit. And running onto one of those exocells is very painful. Like, they're not very threatening if they're anywhere away from you, but if they're right up on top of you, just suck your health right out. Ammo for the flamethrower. Can I search his lower half separately? I can't. Alright, there's gotta be something here I can set off on these guys. I was trying to get their attention, but like, they don't care. Weird effect on the glass when I fire. A health pack. Alright. Yeah, I figured I could like blow up the stove on them or something. Oh, another flesh hole. I wonder if that also goes back down to the flesh room. What's in the freezer? Corpses. Who put these here, though? Report about contamination. Well, that does relate to our current situation, so it is important. He's like so psyched every time he finds more submachine gun ammo. One of the reasons the exocells may have previously escaped detection is that they demonstrate an occasional ability to blend in with their environment. In at least one test subject, I-402, We have managed to amplify this phenomenon after blocking the contamination process and extracting the exocell. The subject quite literally became invisible, whereas infrared enhanced viewing clearly confirmed its presence. Oops, hit tab. Otherwise, only a faint ripple or disturbance could be seen when it moved. What fantastic uses could be made of this? Exocell behavior is quite simplistic. The extremity of the tendril is lined with millimetric fangs that sink into their victim's skin. The exocell uses them to pump the victim's blood, thereby weakening him. This renders the victim vulnerable to contamination since exocells are able to infest a host that is either weak or unconscious. Afterward, they enter the body through the mouth. In some cases, they have been observed infesting dead bodies, though this activity seems to be limited to corpses that have not suffered significant structural damage or undergone extensive decomposition. Contaminated human hosts, alive or dead, are immediately driven by the exocell's urges to seek and destroy warm-blooded life. This serves two purposes. It feeds the exocell's hosts, who frequently engage in acts of cannibalism, and provides new potential hosts for other exocells. The mutations induced in their hosts require tremendous amounts of protein, which means that the hosts are constantly seeking fresh prey. The secondary phase of exocell life, what we now call the tumorous phase, in which the exocells become breeders, is extraordinarily difficult to destroy, even though condemned to immobility. Only fire can effectively destroy these forms of exocell. The breeder produces contaminators at a still undetermined rate. The link between the contaminators and their breeders remains a mystery, although it seems a contaminator will fight to the death to protect its parent. So now we know why they just drain your health when they touch you with their tendril. Oh look, it led us exactly back here. It's just a shortcut down the meat tube. Which I'm not really sure why we need a shortcut for that. Also curious if the ramp on the other side leads somewhere else. Okay, so there's nothing else up there. Scientist dormitory. Security crew sleeping room number 1. Okay, let's deal with the showers first. Gonna be careful not to stand near any corpses. I have no idea what happens in there. He does not seem to be affected by it. Another nest. Wondering if there's a reason to destroy all these nests. Because, like, this one is completely out of our way, so I don't know why we bother with it. Actually, anything in there? Looked like somebody got sucked through the toilet. Violently.
The damn thing's stuck.
Weird. There's no interact prompt there, but he just says the damn thing's stuck. As soon as you look at it. Or brush up against it. Weird. Alright, well, we got no reason to mess with that. Pistol ammo. There's another med kit, but we're almost at full health. More dead people. Or just one dead guy. You can see the eyes, I think, are actually following me on that guy over there. Alright, one was set on fire, but the other was just blasted back by the explosion. He doesn't have anything for us. I was gonna say a memo to Yusupov. I feel like we didn't actually find out why Yusupov was on the supply ship and not the oil rig. To Colonel Dmitry Yusupov regarding platform readiness. Subject, progress of platform operations. All drilling operations have ceased. The laboratory facilities are now operational, and I have been equipped, according to Dr. Kamsky's instructions, confinement cells, decontamination chambers, scanners, and scanning electron microscopes. The first specimens are on board, and the 20 scientists I have recruited at your request will be here on Thursday. Anishenko has enabled the communications jamming system, and all drilling crew members have been evacuated. Those aware of the presence of exocells have been dealt with separately. Work can now get underway. I suppose most of them didn't find out about the exocells when they climbed up the platform? Alright. So, not much else in there. I guess we'll just go the only way that's left to us. Just through the underwater tunnels. So maybe we're not gonna be done with the game in this episode.
Great, it's locked.
Because it feels like we've still got enough to do that we'll probably end up having one more after this. You'd think that they would have infected a lot more of the oceanic wildlife around here, considering we saw a note mentioning that the exocells are perfectly adapted to underwater life. I'm not sure how that's true, because they don't seem like they'd be able to get around that easily, aside from just walking on the bottom like crabs. Oh, hey, remember those invisible enemies they mentioned? Remember how Resident Evil 4 also had invisible enemies that you could see the footsteps of? Thankfully, it's moist in here, so it's easy to see their footsteps. So yeah, we got an invisible type of exocell. I do feel like there's not that much enemy variety in this game, and they're kind of like backloaded, because, you know, the whole ship only had one type of enemy on it. Or two, I suppose, if you count the Russians separately. Oh boy. That's a big fella. You don't have anything to say about that? Just like looking at it like, that's weird. Oh. I should have checked that door before it took the elevator up. Now let's go right back down so I can actually check the doors. I thought that would do something else, but I didn't think this was an elevator. Okay, so I think this is where we came from. Underwater tunnel. Well, there's two other doors leading out of here. Or two other halls. I've said before that I really don't remember much of anything about this game, but I especially did not remember that there was a whole underwater section below the oil rig. Hence why my estimate was that we were so close to the end, because I only remember stuff happening on the oil rig. Experimental chamber. I don't even think we can get down there from here. And we got some observation cells. A page about experiments. We have observed that electric discharges have no effect on the exocell's neuronal network. However, once the exocell is taking control of a body, both the exocell and its host are vulnerable to any source of electricity. In fact, prolonged exposure to a strong electric charge results in death. As a precaution, we have electrified the floors in the experimental chamber. The system is only to be used in case of an extreme emergency. Sounds good.
Access denied. Damn.
That's a shame. We could have electrocuted that entire room. Really sure this is helping us with our whole infection problem, considering this is the morgue. Dr. Kamsky's lab. Well, that actually might be where Anna is. Hard to identify where she was based on the cutscene, but I don't think it's in here looking around. Page from Dr. Kamsky's diary. I can't help thinking that these creatures have great potential. If we could learn how to reproduce and harness the way they alter their hosts, the results could be decisive. Yusupov wants me to create beasts, things that can be used to kill. He fails to see how we could use the exocells to improve life. Nevertheless, he has honor, and thus I am forced to obey, at least for now. I have been merging exocells with subjects, Yusupov has forced me to use humans lately, and then trying to guide the mutations that result. I've made some monsters for Yusupov. Let us see what I can make for myself. Or of myself. Administer the antidote to Anna. Okay. I guess we just found the antidote. Probably want to administer that to ourselves as well. So we might have actually sequence broke a little bit there by not finding Anna first, but I'm not sure. It seems plain to me now that the key to preventing the exocell from taking complete and fatal control over its host lies in blocking the penetration of the creature's tendril into the victim's brain. If the brain could be stimulated to produce some sort of enzyme toxic to the exocell, it would kill the creature, effectively putting a stop to the infection, which is how the antidote works, as we learned much earlier. Some progress has been made in stimulating the production of autolytic enzymes, which have proven to be extremely toxic in relation to the exocell, in some cases completely liquefying it. My hope is that if these enzymes could be created much more quickly, they might liquefy an exocell inside a host body, causing it to dissolve and be flushed out naturally. Kamsky has suggested a slight change of method. He proposes a more measured level of stimulation with a view to obtaining a slower, more progressive production of enzymes in order to observe the host mutation in detail. I fail to understand his objectives, but he insists we need this information. Well, what if you could still have the benefits of the Exocell mutation without losing control of the body? These guys certainly don't seem very useful as a weapon. I mean, maybe slightly more useful than like a zombie, but, you know, even in Resident Evil, the zombies were not an intended bioweapon. They're just a side effect of the T-virus. Code for the experimental chamber PC. Okay, that'll let us shock all those guys below. Spooky morgue doors. Ah! Apparently I just had to tap E, but I was pressing everything else. Okay, I was supposed to shoot him. I saw the shoot prompt pop up too late. I didn't see it shoot pop up that time. These guys aren't very tough, though. Their invisibility makes them fragile, as is usually the case in games that have invisible enemies. Except they're not very deadly either, so I'm not really sure what their purpose is.
What do you know? Access granted.
That was a fucking horrible noise. It was just like the barrels being hit constantly by the floor. I don't think that burns corpses, oddly, if they're already dead before you do it, but maybe it does. No, they all seem to be burned up. I can't go through here. There's just a shipping crate on the other side. Medkit that I still don't really need. Grab that magazine.
The damn thing's stuck.
Okay, so we're not getting through there ever.
It's unlocked.
Okay, now where the hell are we? It's dark. We got a bunch of corpses in cages. That means one of our ceiling-crawling friends is around if the lights are flickering.
Добей меня, добей, прошу.
I started mashing the button and nothing even happened. I think I killed it. Yep. Really bullied the shit out of that one. It's another one of these weird monkeys. We saw one of these on the ship as well. It's like a humanoid monkey. Some humans, when infected with the Exocell parasite, simply return to monk. I am not really sure why. there's one with no skin. Apparently it had ammo for an AK. They seem to still count as human bodies. So I'm not sure if there was any reason to come in here either. Because I don't think we can put out this fire at all. And there's nothing important in there. So this seems to have just been for the ammo. But then again, don't think we have another way out.
Damn thing's stuck.
Yeah, because if we go back in here, this is a dead end, so there has to be some way to get out of the morgue. I'll take this med kit now. Oh, there's a spear there. I was like, what is he looking at? Apparently I'm still full on those. Alright, so... how do we get out of here? Can I grab this shower head? Drag it over to the fire? Oh. It was this thing that I was trying to shoot with the shotgun. Good to know that if it's not red, it doesn't spew fire. It's a good way to get rid of them. So, I think overall, there has been a good amount of use of environmental traps in this. Some areas it's pretty barren and it's just like, nope, you just gotta shoot them. But others it's been pretty decent. I just wish some of them were like more interesting than just the generic electrocution fire hose and stuff like that. Like the time we dropped them into the propeller shaft. That was cool. Okay, that'll go back up. There's a beeping computer over here. That was a waste of a med kit, but I don't think we're coming back down here. So, what did we get out of that? I guess no matter what, we would have got dropped into that room. Like, the floor would have just dumped us in, so that's better to have electrocuted them first. Alright. Suppose we won't end just yet, because I think we're not too far into this episode. So what's over here? Ammo warehouse access.
I'm not getting in there without the right code.
Alright. Guess we'll have to remember that's there. I'm not sure if that's just going to be another armory type thing, or if there's actually a weapon in there. Like a
detected in a high
rocket launcher. Uh-oh.
Begin evacuation code D. Repeat. Begin evacuation code D. This is not a test. I repeat. This is not a test.
How do you evacuate if it shuts down the elevator?
Cleared. Doors unlocked.
Please evacuate unless you are already trapped, in which case, rest in peace. Alright, I thought one of these broke out. I feel like one of them has to at some point, but not yet. Okay, now where are we? Scientific module.
The damn thing's stuck.
seem to be in some kind of lab with more exocells in tubes. Not sure that really did anything. We just seem to be dumping gas into the room. If it's got a green light on it, you might be able to interact with it. Scientific log. Experimental log. Subject series G3. Experimental subject G301. Control subject B. Kardinev. Was sedated, then deliberately infected, forced ingestion, received no antidote, showed first signs of metamorphosis within 20 minutes. Base phase of metamorphosis complete within 2 hours. Symptoms: increased muscle mass, regeneration of tissues after injury, modification of internal organs, excessive hunger for protein, shutdown of all higher brain functions. Experimental subject G302, control subject S. Fratiniev. No contamination. Received 20 milliliters of serum A9. Side effect: mild thoracic skin rash. Experimental subject G303, test subject G. Petrov, killed himself by repeatedly bashing his head against the bars of his cell once infected. No data collected. Experimental subject G304. B. Vidaliev. Subject was sedated and then contaminated by forced ingestion. Received 20 milliliters of serum A9B. Visible mutations after 14 minutes, but did not continue along expected track. Mutation continued in asymmetrical pattern, causing disproportionate development of the upper left limb. The contaminating agent seemed to have infected this limb and multiplied within it. Subject's entire body showed great resistance, including exposure to fire. Only the left arm showed any signs of vulnerability. Subject destroyed after 15 days of observation. Risk too great. Subject G305, B. Carrian. Subject was injected with 20 milliliters of serum A9, then put down. Subject was infected posthumously. Exocell demonstrated its ability to revivify corpses in otherwise good condition. Serum had no apparent effect. Experimental subject G306, H. A. Bash. Subject was sedated, then contaminated by forced ingestions. Injections: 10 milliliters of serum A9B and 10 milliliters of A10. Neurotransmitter blocker. Onset of mutation was delayed for 9 hours, 32 minutes. Symptoms: increased muscle mass, aggression, improved regenerative abilities, pigmentation, alterations of skin and eyes, reduced higher brain activity, especially cognitive functions. Dissection revealed a tendril along the spinal column, but in a deteriorated form. This could be the breakthrough we are looking for. So, what we learned there is that if we fight one of those big guys, shoot him in the arm.
The damn thing's stuck.
I'm not even sure why we can interact with these, because I don't even really know what they do. Alright.
Warning. One of the holding cells has been breached. Alert. Intruder detected. Alert. Area clear. Doors unlocked.
That wasn't too hard. But of course, that wasn't a boss. That's just a regular enemy. This game doesn't really have bosses. Okay. See, I heard that sound and immediately thought I was going to get attacked. I gotta say, there's a lot more lore in this game than I remember picking up all these notes. Official report on the Exocell's life cycle and reproduction, Dr. V. Kamsky and Dr. P. Bakarev. Extracts. There are two main phases to the exocell life cycle: reproduction and contamination. To reproduce, the exocell transforms itself into what we now call breeders, stationary organic structures of potentially considerable size, basically shapeless and particularly repulsive in appearance. Rude. When the exocells enter this phase, they find a safe, isolated location, usually high up, attach themselves firmly to it with their tendrils, and immediately start growing. The breeder starts hatching out new contaminators within 24 hours through an asexual budding process. Contaminators are small, fast, and highly mobile. When attacked, they curl up into what could be called a fetal position, exposing a hard external shell, but which is quite soft and vulnerable on the inside. Their mission is to find a host, infect it parasitically, and feed on it from the inside. It may need to repeat the process several times, but eventually this produces an adult, mature exocell, ready to settle down as a breeder and start producing more contaminators. Physically speaking, contaminators are weak. As a result, they can only contaminate dead, dying, or weakened hosts. Healthy, strong organisms can easily fight them off. This explains why hungry exocells seek to weaken their prey before contaminating it. Once the exocell has integrated its host, and up to 7 can share a single host, it effectively takes control of it by sending tendrils up to the host brain. Thus, to permanently eliminate an infected host, its brain must be destroyed. Yeah, I like how that's indicated in red, even though, we've been told that since the start of the game. In fact, the host's other body parts are all but indestructible. Muscle mass increases at a spectacular rate, and bruised or injured tissue heals almost immediately. As Professor Nikolai Kastanev explained during our last encounter, this process requires large amounts of protein. Human protein is naturally preferred since it will be building human cells. As a precaution, the contaminators also shut down their host's higher brain functions, essentially switching off the host's personality. The body is left to defend itself and find food. Moreover, it seems that during a more advanced stage in the mutation process, the contaminators reactivate certain of their host's intellectual functions, turning them to their advantage to perceive space, use tools, and even devise and communicate strategies. One of the main benefits of this is to facilitate the search for new potential hosts by attacking, wounding, and killing other healthy humans. As indicated above, even bodies that are dead but in otherwise good condition can be reanimated by the exocells, which energize the host's nervous and muscular systems. The tendril in the brain turns the corpse into an extension of the exocell's body in a sort of monstrous symbiosis. Bodies frozen for months or even years could be conceivably used in this fashion by the contaminators. At a certain stage in the mutation, which varies according to individual hosts, the process is reversed. The contaminators escape from the host body, which enters a state of rapid putrefaction. Hence why they liquefy when we kill them. There's always got to be an in-game explanation for that. The same occurs when an exocell is forcibly extracted from a body, usually by destroying the host's brain or burning it entirely. Whilst we are learning more each day, our results are already highly promising. Obviously, the next stage is to control the whole process to obtain what we are all striving for. We remain confident. Victor.
The damn thing's stuck.
What do you know? Exocells are weak against fucking explosions.
The damn thing's stuck.
Most of these labs just seem to have lore in them. I think we've been everywhere we can go now. Yeah, we've been in here. The only one I think we haven't been in is this one in this corner, which is a way out. Alright, let's check this big door before we go down there. I'm gonna assume this one is locked. Alright, it's not locked, so this seems like the way we need to go. You know, if those guys actually just attacked immediately, instead of making sure to jump out and spook you first, they'd probably get a lot more hits in. Excellent. He just casually strolled right off. So I think this elevator is the one that will take us back to the med bay, which is where we're assuming Anna is. Yeah, it's just over here. I would say that was a waste of a grenade, but we are right next to the armory, so we can top up again. Do you see him, like, patting his stump like, oh shit, do I have a head anymore? Hey, Anna, are you actually in here? Because if not, I have no idea where you are. Does not appear to be in here.
Damn thing's stuck.
Actually, I just noticed that the MP5 is the only other weapon that has a flashlight on it. I didn't notice that it had a flashlight at first. So that makes it better than the AK for dark rooms. I mean, shit, this is really where I thought we had to go. I've got to reach the decontamination room where I'll find Anna. Where the hell is that? Yep. There's all these ammo stations in here, but that filled this up for everything. Alright, well shit, if that's not the way to go, then fucking, I don't know. Yeah, I don't think there's any other way out of this room here. So it's got to be in the scientific module. Mostly I'm trying to find it now because it's where the save point's going to be, and I think we're going a bit long now. Alright, there we go. We finally got one of those critical hits. I shotgunned him at point blank. No one else gonna pop out? Fully loaded with this ammo. Note about yellow steam valves. Is it going to tell me to shoot the valves? Decontamination room. Alright. This will be a save point. Good.
I'm sorry, Anna.
I'm sorry that I couldn't swim and save you.
Patients, one cure.
Guess I'll die now.
Hansen, move it! You've got work to do and you're running out of time.
I know. Let's make a deal. I get those notes, you take care of Anna. Get her out of here.
You play hardball, Hansen, but you got a deal.
Right. I'm on my way.
I don't know if that's really hardball. Sure, I guess I'll rescue someone else instead of you, since you're gonna die of your horrible infection. Also, she didn't even try to help us, she just fucked off. She didn't, like, leave us a note like, thanks for saving my life. Alright, so we're gonna end it here, and next time, I don't know if it'll be the last episode at this point. I'm not sure how much of the oil rig there is left to see, because, I mean, we've been to both modules now. So, I guess we'll find out next time. Until then, take care, folks.